Hey guys and girls, my name is Alan and welcome to today's News Shop episode. So as you can probably tell from the title of the video, today we're going to be covering patch notes 1.08 for Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer, which was released late last night. There are some notes for single player as well, but I'm not here to talk about the single player stuff. But I will link the sources for both the single player notes and the multiplayer notes in the description. So if you want to read it for yourself, then you can do so. But basically what I'm going to be doing now is what I've been doing the past couple of weeks and months, is to show you the patch notes from the website. This is all recorded from the website. None of it's been tampered with. I haven't touched anything whatsoever. Apparently it's not the full patch notes, they are still adding to it every now and then, which they've done in previous notes as well. So don't be surprised that this isn't the final list. They're probably going to add some other stuff, and I will talk about some stealth changes they've made later in the video, because as I said, they haven't mentioned everything in these notes, which they should have done, but BioWare being BioWare. Right, so without further ado, let's get started. So first off, there will be a new Apex mission this weekend, Rocar Operation. To be honest with you, I'm not really following the Apex storyline if there is one, but there is a new mission this weekend. The first new addition that you can see if you've got a keen eye is that there is the Riga carbine on the screen. That is one of the new weapons added in the game at the moment. It is a rare card. I haven't used it in multiplayer yet. I haven't used it in single player either. I have no idea if it's as good as it was in ME3, but I have heard pretty average reviews of said weapon. But try it out for yourself and let me know in the comment section below if you thought it was any good. Hopefully I'll unlock it, but I've still got a ways to go yet in terms of unlocking all my rares, so who knows when I'll get this bad boy. There will be a new map. I think this is it in the background. I can't really tell too clearly. I haven't played it yet. I've just recently downloaded the patch. It's 2.2 gig. It should be available now from your respective platform. So yeah, new map, new mission, a couple of new weapons. Wait, no, one new weapon? I've got a list in front of me. I'll read it off in a minute, but let's just cover some of the basic stuff first. So, one new mission, just a little note from Ephra if you want to have a read of that. It's quite an interesting story, I suppose, as I said, if you're following the storyline arc of these Apex missions. So these are the notes for both single player and multiplayer, and I don't know why they don't just do two separate articles. I don't understand why they have to merge it into one, but then create a separate one anyway for the combat changes. But anyway, so this is patch notes 1.08, blah blah blah, single player stuff. Too long, didn't read. Basically, you can now bang Jarl if you're interested in that. Blah blah blah, some changes, customization, and down to the important bit. So multiplayer, stealth grid challenge now works properly. It didn't before, so if you're wondering why you weren't moving on that bar, you know now that it wasn't working before, and apparently they fixed it. I don't know how it works exactly in terms of earning points, but I'm guessing whenever you shield your allies, you get a decent chunk and so on and so forth. Maybe if they do damage using your damage bonus, then you'd also get points for that. Some changes to the Fiend. I have a really stupid video of the Fiend killing me, which I've been meaning to share for ages, and I probably will do at some point. Totally BS the way that I died, and I'm probably not the only person to face these sort of deaths, but I just thought it was crazy. And I will share it on AcornVision Gaming at some point. I just need to get around to uploading it. But apparently he's been altered slightly, so maybe you shouldn't be killed in such weird, stupid situations anymore. Hopefully we'll have to wait and see. Improved movement prediction for enemies in tight spaces. I guess this might work in conjunction with the Fiend, because some enemies, I've seen the Fiend teleport a few times, I've seen the Hydra teleport a few times as well, and just stuff like that shouldn't be happening really, but I guess they continue to work on it, so we just have to wait and see how it goes. Apparently there's an issue with if there's a player on the floor and you were standing near them, you couldn't melee, because obviously melee is the same button as to revive. Apparently it's fixed now. So as you can see, some other minor fixes for audio here and there. Backlash got something changed. Something to do with the Turing agent using Recon Visor and obviously Tactical Cloak together would increase the duration of it. Apparently that's not been fixed. I didn't realise it was an issue, but I haven't really played with it too much, so I can't say. Here's a funny one. Fixed issue where weight reduction modifications wouldn't actually reduce weight. Again, this was a problem that featured in ME3, so it should have been tested, should have been identified way before the game was shipped to retail, but apparently it wasn't, just like a bunch of other mods. So that's now fixed, only 3 months after the game launched. Revive transmitter now displays the revive radius and loadout screen. It's not something I would use, but I guess if you do use it, you can now tell how far the radius is. Well, I guess that should have been there from the start. You kind of want to know what the revive radius is when you equip it, so you know it's not 2 centimeters versus 20 meters or it's whatever. Just for the record, it isn't 20 meters; it's about 5 meters or something. Equipping the Cobra RPG now interrupts reloading. Thank you, finally. Again, this is something that's been annoying from the start. The one time you want to interrupt your reload and it doesn't, and then all the other times when you don't want to interrupt your reload, such as an enemy bumping into you, your reload gets cancelled. So this is a very welcome addition to the game. It should have been there from the start. Something to do with Addy sinking you into one of them grabs and you teleport apparently. I've not noticed that. Or maybe it has happened, I just haven't really paid attention to it. I've not seen enemies go into a T-pose. No, tell a lie, I have seen one or two. But I know it's happened to me once or twice, and I posted a video on AcornVision Gaming if you want to see it in action, but it just puts you in a weird angle and you can't really do anything until you die and get revived. Another minor change to the way that the lobby works, when your allies ready up, it'll alert you a bit better. Whereas prior to this, it was just a simple change in color, which not everyone paid attention to. I mean, you know what pubs are like, right? They don't really pay attention to anything. And added lights option to customization. Some people were complaining about this. I genuinely don't know why. Of all the things that are wrong with Andromeda multiplayer, being able to change your lights goes very far down the list, if you ask me. But I guess if you're interested in that, then that's now been changed. So you can now customize your character to your liking. Okay, so moving on to the main course, the combat balance updates or changes for 1.08. So not quite as significant as 1.06, but still quite a lengthy list. So grab some snacks if you want to, but I think you'll survive this one if you don't grab anything in advance. Right, so let's start off by saying they continue to improve stuff based on player feedback and their own tests. Well, I don't know about their testing because that's always a bit questionable, but it does seem as though they are starting to listen to some more player feedback. Not necessarily all of it, but definitely taking on board some of it and making changes as necessary. One of the things that people were complaining about was the lack of accuracy when it comes to full automatic weapons, especially the assault rifles. I'm looking at you, so bad, or so average. So the way that weapons operate in MEA is slightly different to ME3. So basically, weapons have what we call bloom and accuracy. So bloom is when you fire a shot, well, when you fire in fully auto weapon, the reticles expand. That's called the bloom. And as that increases, bullets could potentially land anywhere within inside that bloom, and that's called the accuracy of the weapon. I think this is all my interpretation of how they've talked about things in the past and descriptions in the game. And so obviously, big bloom means lower accuracy, especially for full automatic weapons, because if you fire a semi-automatic, the weapon might jump up or to the side or whatever, but then obviously the reticles will reset and then you've got another shot and so on and so forth. Whereas with full automatic weapons, unless you fire in bursts, your bloom doesn't quite grow as much as it would if you held it down full auto. So what they've done is they've decreased the time it takes to go to max bloom, and basically that means that your weapon will either be fully inaccurate straight away, or it'll just continue to be as accurate as it is. So you've got sort of a consistency when you're firing your weapon. And in terms of accuracy itself, they've decrease the size of that bloom, so weapons will fire more consistently within a certain smaller radius rather than bullets being sprayed all over the place. So I'm hoping that this means the Sonad is actually going to be pretty useful now. So I don't know, I will give it a try, and if I get decent gameplay, I will of course upload to AcornVision Gaming. It's a shame that my first ultra rare was so disappointing, so I'm hoping that these changes have made it now a lot better and worthy of it being an ultra rare weapon. The next significant change is a little bit ironic, and it's to do with balancing melee damage. Now, they did slightly nerf melee in one of the previous patches. I think it was 1.06, because they thought that too many people were using it, and they wrongly assumed that it was because it was OP. No, people were using melee because everything else sucked ass. So they've now reversed that decision to nerf melee and made it a bit better across certain characters, but to compensate for that, they've nerfed the Juggernaut shield. I've not seen it for myself, but I've heard that it's been decreased from 75% extra damage down to 15% extra damage, which is a little bit of a steep nerf. But again, I've heard from another source that even though the Juggernaut shield has been balanced, melee damage for certain characters has actually sort of been the same, even factoring the Juggernaut shield nerf. So that's good for those characters, but it does mean that other characters who didn't get a melee buff, they can now no longer use the Juggernaut shield as effectively as they did previously. So give and take, I suppose. Maybe they don't want all characters to be melee characters, but I haven't played it yet, so I can't say. Let me know in the comment section below if you've noticed any significant changes to your favorite melee classes or builds. What should I avoid or what should I look for? I don't know, just if you've got any recommendations, hit me up. So again, they mention here about teleporting enemies and unfair sync kills. Again, haven't played it, so I'm not too sure, but anything that reduces the BS grabs from halfway across the map and through the floor, through the wall, unexpected stuff like that should definitely be stopped. So good, hopefully this is helping with that sort of stuff. This next little bit is quite interesting. They've introduced the Reserves pack and the Arsenal pack. If you played ME3 multiplayer, you'll recognize those two names. The Reserves pack supposedly has an increased chance for characters, and the Arsenal pack supposedly increased chance for weapons. Again, haven't tested these out yet, so I'm not too sure. I would advise caution with the store. Seems as though whenever they update the store with new packs or stuff like that, they sort of mess things up a little bit, so just be a bit wary when buying packs. If you notice that it's not working as intended, it's probably bugged or something, and they'll fix it soon enough, so just be patient. Also, something else that I'm happy to see return is the Jumbo Supply Pack. Now, it costs 10,000 and contains 25 pieces of items. So you'll get 5 of each of the consumables, so 5 RPGs, 5 gels, 5 first aid packs, and 5 ammo packs. So you get 20 of those altogether, and then you get 5 random boosters on top of that. So that's 25 altogether. Now, if it does cost 10,000, that's exactly the same as buying 5 supply packs, which cost 2k, but you only get 1 of each. So it's not so much giving you more for your money. It's just saving you time, basically, from buying, 5 times as many supply packs when you could just buy 1 jumbo pack, which I welcome. But at the same time, would have been nice to get just a few more items, because obviously it's a bigger pack and it costs a little bit more money. But I guess saving time is just as precious as anything else. And another big change, which again, very welcome, is that you can now buy mods from the item store. Item store meaning you can spend mission funds from your Apex teams to buy these mods. So this is good because mods are quite rare in this game, and it's been programmed that way into the packs. Mods will always be the final thing that you unlock for any rarity level in terms of packs. So it's good to know that you can now buy these using mission funds. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've been playing the strike teams quite a lot from my smartphone, because to be honest, in some days I find that more fun than playing the multiplayer itself. And it just means that I can now spend the mission funds that I've got stored, because I don't really fancy buying the XP boosters. I mean, it's a bit of a grind, obviously, to level up your characters to 20, but I'd rather buy something tangible than something one-off, So hopefully there's some good mods that I can buy from the store now. Again, I haven't yet experienced this for myself, so I can't give you a first-hand, but my next pack opening, obviously, I'll show you what it's all about. Again, that'll be posted on AcornVision Gaming. Okay, so that's like, I guess, a summary version of what they've made changes-wise, what they've added to the store. There are a few more things. As I said, I will list those at the end of the video. But now we move on to the actual number side of things. So as you can see, melee's been changed for various things. Omni Blade, Cryo Gauntlet, Asari Sword, Krogan Hammer, Krogan Headbutt. Krogan Headbutt has basically more than doubled, so that's very interesting. Krogan Hammer, which I believe only lies on the Krogan Gladiator, an ultra rare character which I do not yet have, which is a bit of a shame. Asari Sword again on a character I do not yet have, but those 2 damages in terms of melee have been increased by a fair amount. So if you want a melee character, I'd definitely try those out. Cryo Gauntlet is fun to use because it freezes enemies which don't have shields or armor, but it was kind of weak before, now it's been buffed, so that's good. And Omni Blade, well, everyone's got an Omni Blade, so increased damage across the board for those guys, which is it's better than nothing. Moving on to powers. So Solarian Infiltrator has been, well, I guess buffed slightly. Technical Synergy upgrade will now work for all 3 powers, not just Energy Drain, so I guess that's a nice bonus if you use that already. And just as I say, well, okay, so the Solarian was buffed slightly, but one of his powers got nerfed. So bonus from Energy Drain Restoring Shields has been nerfed from 30 to 25%. Cryobeam now grants 25% assist score instead of support score. I can't say I know what the difference between those two. Let me know in the comment section below if you do, but more points, I'm guessing. I hope that's what it means, so that's always good. Shockwave base damage has been increased slightly. It's not a great detonator, but it can hit multiple targets at the same time, so it has that in its favor. See if that does any major changes to the way that I play the game. Overload has been buffed slightly. I wasn't expecting this, but it's a welcome addition. I do like using Overload. It's good at what it does, but I guess it could be considered a little bit weak compared to some of the other powers. So charge damage has been increased when it chains to other enemies, and maximum charge damage overall has also been increased. So I guess the base damage has gone up, and also chain damage has gone up, I think is what it's just saying. Apparently frag grenades, sticky grenades and trip mines didn't bypass enemy shield gates before. They do now. Okay, that's good. I'm surprised that they didn't do that before, but it's good that it's been changed. In terms of combo damage, so tech combos base damage have been increased slightly across the board, as you can see there. Again, this does tie in quite well with with what I've seen in terms of using overload for tech explosions. They weren't always great. I mean, against the Remnant faction, they were pretty good, but against other factions, they were pretty so-so. So that's good to see that not only has overload been increased, but also combo damage has also been buffed as well. So I'm looking forward to trying out those kits again. Something to do with throw. I vaguely remember reading something about throw being a slightly weaker detonator compared to other powers, especially when it comes to combo detonation damage. So that has now been reverted to just be standard rather than take a minus 25% hit. So that's good to know. Maybe my throw characters will do a bit more damage now.